I think now this maybe you have to cover for your daughter.
Wow, wow, wow. That was the best intro I could have ever asked for. I recorded it. I'm going to play it every family function. Thank you. Such a pleasure to be here. We just flew in from Miami this morning. We were at a fund conference, learning how to get a fund started and networking. There were about 2,500 people there, and I'd say probably about 5% were women. So really a minority, and every woman that walked by us was like, "You're a woman, I need to talk to you." So I love it. It's like, congratulations, because I just feel that there's this wave coming of just really powerful women. And what would the real estate space look like when we are the fund managers and we are the building owners and we are the asset managers? Just a wonderful, wonderful world. So I also noticed that I see a lot of the same words that Deanna spoke and that Dakota spoke. So I want you to pick up on the patterns, because all three of us, and I'm sure Susan will also have similar things to say, are telling you pretty much the same things. So I love that. Tony Robbins talks about patterns a lot, and picking up on what those are like. So this is me and my story to my journey to wealth. I can really only speak to you from my own experience and what my life has looked like. These are some of the cool things that I've gotten to do over the years. Family pictures, obviously a lot of real estate. This is a development in the corner left that we're doing. I have all my amazing business partners up there as well, of some of the cool things that we're doing. But ultimately I came from, as you heard, nowhere really. I didn't really have any financial literacy or wealth. Now I manage about $20 million of assets. I've raised $5 million. I grew my portfolio significantly. I have multiple sources of revenue, and I run a few businesses. So just so grateful for all of it, and grateful to have obviously my family here as well. Wanted to kind of talk to you about some of the process of what it looks like to create wealth. What does it look like to build from where you are now to where you want to be? And I love the word desire as opposed to goal. I just feel like goal is just brings a different tune to it. Desire is something a bit further than that. Is what if in your life, your dream lifestyle, if you had zero limitations, no budgets, no timelines, what would that look like for you? For me, it looks like going to a fund conference in Miami and then coming back and joining you beautiful ladies. That's what that looks like for me. And I love that. I'm very inspired by the ocean, by growth, by expansion, and by so much more. But I want to tell you how I got started in real estate specifically. I haven't really told the story much, or hardly at all. I started saying it out loud a few weeks ago. I don't even fully know why, but I wanted to share it with you. 6 years ago, we didn't have much. We had just recently bought a townhouse in Mississauga. I'll tell you that story for a second there. Between maternity leave with my kids, when I just started a job at the MasterCard Foundation, which was, I thought, really cool. It's a not-for-profit. I started an entry-level job there, and I hated it immediately. I hated it. They hated me. It was not going to go well. So I was either quitting or they were firing me. There's no other way around that. In a week, I found out I was pregnant with my second child, and I thought, what do I do now? I don't have an option. I quit the job, was unemployed, and I thought I just need mat leave. Like, what do I do? I'm going to apply for anything. Ended up applying for and got a receptionist job at a physio clinic in Brampton, making $18 an hour at the time, just so I could get the mat leave. Within about a few weeks, we found this beautiful house in Mississauga we wanted to buy. We put an offer on it, got accepted. We were very excited. We had spent about 7 years saving for this. Okay, we got married, lived in rental buildings for 7 years until we saved enough money to buy this townhouse in Mississauga. Offer was accepted. 2 weeks later, Anton, my husband, gets laid off from his job. And remember calling the realtor from the physio clinic. I'm like, we have to cancel the deal. Like, he got laid off. I make $18 an hour. Like, what are we going to do? Anton called me back and said, don't do anything. It's already like in process. They don't need to know I got laid off. Nobody's going to tell them. We can still get the house. And we did. We ended up buying the house, moving in again. Me making that salary, Anton laid off. He started the construction company full-time at that time. So new business, 2 kids. About a month later, my mom went through something in her life and needed some help. So she moved in with us and lived with us for about 3 years. At that time, I just felt this complete like weight and burden as I looked at my kids, as I looked at my husband, as I looked at my mom, like, I need wealth. I need wealth that's gonna be so abundant, that's gonna overflow into everybody around me. Everybody's gonna get wealth. How do I do that? This is a desire right here. How do I create wealth that's so abundant that everybody around me is gonna be so blessed by it? That was the first desire I had. From that point, you start to gain awareness. Because what I realized was, I have a desire. Now my attention is towards wealth. Never really stopped to do that before. If you are looking for wealth in your life, and I don't mean just financial riches, I mean all that comes with wealth, start paying attention to it. All that awareness is attention to something. Where is the wealth? The thing is, the moment you start paying attention to it, it comes to you very quickly. Soon enough, Anton got a job working for a couple that were doing really high-end flips in Caledon. He said, you gotta come see this house. It's beautiful. I've never seen anything like that. I'm like, I'm coming. So I came in. It was the most beautiful house I had ever seen to that point. And I met the owners. They were flippers. And she told me her story, but she wasn't overly upfront about the strategies, but I knew she was making a lot of money. And I thought, here's the wealth. Here's the wealth that I just asked. Where is the wealth? Here it is. Wealth is in real estate. So went back home and Googled, like any of us would, how to make wealth in real estate, how to get rich in real estate, whatever it is, the keywords that I use at the time. And obviously found a bunch of links and opportunities to get involved. Awareness is looking in the direction that you want to go. We spend too much time looking at what we don't want in our lives. This is terrible. This is not working out. I can't do this. This is too hard. Focus your attention on what you do want. Get out of like the complaining side of things. Get out of the things that suck your attention in the wrong direction. Because all you're going to do is get more of that. Start focusing your attention on the things that you do want to go, in the direction that you do want to go towards. That's what awareness will bring into your life. Stay aligned. All alignment means is you're excited about that direction. You don't care about the like naysayers. Stay clear from resistance. Resistance is the thoughts in your mind that go, I can't do that. Like Dakota was saying, I can't do that. I won't be able to build wealth. I won't be able to create a future. What do I know about real estate? I was a receptionist. I didn't know anything, just being honest. I had just bought my first house a year earlier. So all these thoughts that come to your mind, stay clear from them. Stay excited and motivated in looking into the direction that you want. And then stay general. Who has heard of the SMART goal chart? I think it's the most like preached goal like structure out there. I don't like it. I'm just saying it to you. There's a reason why. They tell you to become extremely specific with your goals. That works against you. You can't be too specific with what you don't know. How do you know what you need to be specific about? You have no idea. I have no idea. I could sit down and say whatever specific things I could. Every single day, there's a new level of awareness. There's a new specific components that come to me. The details will fill themselves in. The right people in your life will fill itself in. All you have to do is set the intention and desire and keep moving forward one day at a time. Stay excited. Stay in it. Stay believing and moving forward. And it's all going to come. After I joined, so I joined an education program. That was my next step. I Googled it, found an education program. I joined Keyspire at the time, started my training. How do I do this? And went to get some example. About 4.5 years later, my bank account hit $1 million for the first time. And it was beyond exciting. We celebrated a lot that day. It was just a cool milestone. By the way, I don't have $1 million in my bank account right now. I want to clarify, everybody always comes and asks for private lending afterwards. It's been deployed. There's more millions coming, okay? That was I just shared that because it was an exciting milestone, and it's possible. From $18 an hour on mat leave, unemployed husband, to $1 million in 4 years, that's pretty cool. And that was just like what was on our bank account. Step 2, that's what I did, invest in yourself. We talked about that again. This is, I have scaled over and over again. This is my formula. I desire something. I stay really excited about it. I keep moving forward. I go get educated. I spend a ton because the investment that you do in yourself, nothing will beat that ever. You can't earn a return without an initial investment. That's just the way it works. My first investment in myself was a $15,000 membership. I just told you my story. We didn't have it. We had about a $7,000 line of credit. We had like a $4,000 in our savings account. We had a bit of money here and there. It was a struggle to make that purchase that weekend. I was very excited, but very scared. Had to convince my husband. I said, I'm gonna do this. I'm in. Let's make the commitment. We got this. And as he always has, he supported me 100%. So we scraped up all our accounts, including our line of credit, had $15,000, came on the last day of the last minute. The lovely, which she's a friend and an investor now, but the lovely salesperson that was working with me said, we had a bet going on that you guys were not gonna do the membership. I'm like, thanks for telling me now. So we gave the $15,000 and she's like, oh, there's the HST. Shoot, now I have to come up with another $2,000. I'm like, I have nowhere, can you, like, what do I do now? So called Anton's dad at the time, was like, do you have $2,000? No, I don't. Like, ended up, I don't even remember now where we pulled it from. We pulled it from somewhere and paid for the membership. I don't need to tell you how worth it was.
It's amazing.
Because you just cannot get return without that initial investment. Invest in yourself over and over again. You have to be in the right rooms. You have to be around the right people because you have to reinvent yourself over and over again. This was another example of that. By reinventing myself, last December, my business partner Lona and I went to Miami. You probably haven't heard me talk about it a million times, and I will keep doing that, okay? So, we had the most amazing experience. That was another investment that we did in ourselves. We sat at the beach and we dreamt up something. It was literally like, wouldn't it be so cool if we just could have this experience right here, but with a bunch of other lovely women? Wouldn't it be so cool if we could bring our friends here and like help them experience this? We just dreamt this up. It was crazy. About 3 months later, we were back in Miami with 16 women and had the absolutely best time. It was life-changing for me. Every lady can speak for themselves, but it was life-changing for me. I was going through something because we always are. Life is not perfect. We know that. I had major breakthroughs there. There was a new version of myself that was born that weekend in that breakthrough. And the ability to be able to provide an experience like that and impact others goes back to my original desire. How do I not just have it for myself, but I have it in a way that it overflows into everybody else around me? And this was just such a cool experience to be there and have that. The next thing is inspired action. We talked about action. You talked about action. So desire. What was the other one there? Desire, education, invest in yourself, and then you got to take action. Here's what I want to introduce to you that may be a little different. I want you to take inspired action. It's a little different than just any action, going back to the whole SMART goal thing. Because what people do is they sit down and they're like, okay, I want to buy a property. That means I'm going to like research 30 properties a day. I'm going to run like, and I did some of those processes myself. That's not where I gained the most leverage with my action. It's not until you feel a pull, like something is pulling you towards a certain direction, and the action feels effortless. Does that challenge your belief around how you get something? The bigger returns I've ever made felt effortless, not no effort, effortless, than the actions that I've done that felt like a grind. Because it is possible. There's something within you that guides you, and that's very unique to each one of us. And that's your direction, and you're listening to yourself to say, that what that person just said across the room rang a bell. I feel like I can do that. I walked into a mastermind like, that girl said she just bought 50 units. I think I can do that. There's a pull in that direction. There's also things that you hear that you're like, nope, that's not me. You know when you've made a move and it was complete inspired action. You know when you felt right, it felt immediate, it felt easy, it felt effortless. That's the kind of action that I'm talking about. So about 2 years ago, I scaled. My first part of my portfolio was scaling to 20 units. We did 5 fourplex conversions, full burrs, and then I had a new desire. It was a ton of work. And I thought, how do I scale but do less? That was my new desire. How do I scale but do less? I went and got educated. And I took a course, how to do multifamily. And then I took inspired action and started buying the buildings. And I scaled from 20 units to about 130 in 18 months. Very exciting. Raised the most capital I've ever raised before. Did amazing things because it was inspired. It was out of passion, it was out of love, it was out of like just wanting to give back. Bigger is easier. I'm gonna say bigger is better. Bigger is easier, and that has been my experience. I don't know how else to say it. It's so hard to look back at smaller properties now. I love it. Honestly, financing gets easier. I don't know what to tell you. It was a struggle when we were doing the fourplexes. And then we started buying apartment buildings. I'm like, okay, approved. Like, what's happening? The more we have, the more they're like, oh, you already have 2 buildings? No problem. Here's your financing. More buildings? No problem. I'm like, you're not going to ask any questions? Like, loved it. It is true. I find it easier overall. It's a lot of work. The other thing was we became really good at it. We really zoomed in an area, and I love that strategy. When you get to zoom in a bit, we became really good. We built a whole infrastructure for our buildings. We have 130 units in the same city. That has allowed us to do a bunch of things. We have in-house property management, we have in-house construction teams, in-house maintenance. When we write a pro forma, we know exactly what the lender is going to say. We have full experience. We have done many appraisals, we've done many refinances. We know what the values are going to be after repairs. We know what repairs need to be done. We know what the rents are going to be. We know exactly what we're looking for. And it became easier and easier and easier to buy properties. And then what I love about it is, again, the fact that it overflows. We have a lot of investors that work with us. I was going to say, some of them being my mom and my daughter. My mom started, when she first started investing with me, she had her funds in GICs. And she made it sound like it was easy convincing her. It was not, okay? It was a lot of work, and she had to see the proof, which is fair. She saw me getting quite a few properties under my belt before she's like, okay, you're doing something, let's talk about that. She has a whole new source of income. that comes from private lending, and she expanded her mind. That's where it overflows. She expanded her mind on what it looked like to be an investor. She had never invested in anything like this before, and experiences now herself. So I love that. I love that it came from like her living with us to her. She owns her own condo. It's beautiful. She's doing really well and has her own source of income. Amy's my newest private lender. 2 weeks ago, we had a conversation about private lending that I could not have expected, and it blew her mind. She was like, wait. You're saying that if I give you my $100, you're gonna give me money back, and I have to do nothing? I could just chill in my room? Like, yes. It's gotta be a good investment, but yes, that's how private lending works. Okay, so what if I give you $120? I'm like, even better, you're gonna make even more interest. Okay, she ran upstairs, grabbed all her money, counted her coins. Okay, I have $145. Perfect, Amy. I'm giving her, she has a really good deal. I'm giving her 60% return on her money. I've told her, this is for daughter only, okay, let me explain. She gets paid on the 15th of every month, just like all of our other investors do. She's already determined that she's going to be reinvesting all of her interest back on. The last thing is momentum. What I love about momentum is the fact that it makes things move just easier and faster. It doesn't always go in a linear. Sometimes it stops, and you know how hard it is to get it picked up again and start going. But here's what I realized about momentum. It's much faster and much better and much easier when you have a group of people with you. Going back to partnerships. Every single business that I have incredible partners in. The momentum that it gets built when there's more people working towards the same vision together, it's much faster. The other thing that happens is we all have our lovely skill sets. We all have the value that we bring to the table, and that allows things to move forward. I could not probably do something without a partner just because I love it so much. It's also so much more fun. Like, I get to have conversation and brainstorm and mastermind and do things together. And honestly, sometimes I'm in Miami, I'm like, you got it this week, right? Like, deal with the financing, deal with the things. I'm here, send me some emails. And they do the same. And we really have each other's back. About partnerships, if you're starting a new partnership, I'd say do one deal at a time. Don't start like a marriage, you know. One of my ways to see if I would partner is, would I have you have dinner in my house with my family? That's my intuition requirements. Would I bring you in my house and have dinner? If I wouldn't do that, that's a big no. So make sure that you're dealing with people that intuitively connect with you, that aligns with your goals. You understand their value around money. And then do one deal at a time. See how it goes. Then if it goes well, do another one, and then do another one. And this is how I have 130 units with a partner. I have a 60-unit development with a different partner. I have amazing things brewing with other partners. So people and systems was the thing that allowed me to scale. For the first, I'd say for the last year and a half, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to scale the business by which CRM do I use? How do I pay all the investors? What's the program? Who do I talk to? How do you grow this business efficiently? And it wasn't until I found my business partner, Megan, that things took off. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, she's doing all these things. I thought I needed to know how to do all the things that the business needed, until I realized that it's about leverage. You're leveraging people, you're also leveraging systems that allow you to scale, because I can't possibly be doing everything at the same time. That has allowed me to focus a lot more on becoming a human developer, a people developer, versus working within the systems. And then it creates disproportionate returns. So you're saying by having this one phone call, I have all due diligence done in one of my buildings? Thank you. Appreciate it. That's amazing. That's the kind of leverage you're gonna start to get by focusing on the right things. I could sit here and teach you how to underwrite a deal. And for a lot of you, maybe you start there. I did start there. But if I can save you some time and tell you don't have to do it that way, and you can go straight to leveraging the right people and systems and the right partnerships, you're gonna get there much faster. That's it for me. Any questions from the audience?
Don't be shy. This is your opportunity to get all the answers. How can we find you?
So if you do want to scan that, that's my landing page. It kind of really encompasses everything that I do. Instagram and Facebook, it's Adriana Ostapenko. And if you go on my landing page, you can see some of the things that I'm involved in and doing right now. We have a 12 unit on the contract that we're bringing in equity partners for, if you want to be involved in that. And then I have a bunch of other things on the go that are incredibly exciting as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is my opportunity to hug you. It's amazing.
On behalf of all women in real estate, thank you so much for bringing your whole family, the 3 generations. I want to make sure that we can take a picture of 3 of you.